Hello everyone, welcome to day 3 of our HP Quickstart training class. This is day 3 of 5. My name is Rhett Scott with hpCommerce Software. Today's topic will be working with vendors, purchasing, purchase advice, and automated reordering. I want to touch on an item that we frequently are asked about, and that has to do with closing out an existing PO or removing a PO from the system. You use the same feature in HP to do this, but it functions differently depending on the situation. Let's say that you have a PO that you've partially received items against and you just know that you're not going to get any of the other items and you just want to close it out. Well, you saw where we were prompted earlier for if the PO had been received in full, but you can't go through that process unless you receive some items. If you want to close out an order that you have received part of the order, then you can use the close or delete a PO option, select your PO, and then it will close out the PO. If you've received anything against the PO, it will not delete the PO. In the case of a pending order that hasn't been processed yet, if you select it, it will just delete the PO. So we go ahead and select it, we're prompted to delete it, and it will delete the PO for us. This prompt here has to do with a topic that we'll cover tomorrow, in that you can create a purchase order directly from a sales order. And we won't go into it in detail tomorrow, but we are going to touch on it. And we have some great videos that we'll be sharing later on that cover that entire system for you. Since this is tied back to a sales order, I'm going to say no to the delete prompt and exit out. For awareness purposes, I want to touch on a few other items that are on the purchasing menu. One is labels. You can pre-print labels for a given PO. If you're in the habit of putting your own labels on all of your items, then you can print out the PO, print out labels for every item that are on the PO, put them together into a manila folder, for instance, and put them in a rack waiting for receiving the order. If you just want to reprint part labels for a specific receiving, then you can go down here to reprint part labels. It'll prompt you to find a particular receiving, and then you can print part labels for that particular receiving. Again, just the items that were received against that PO at that time. You can print out a PO confirmation. So this is a confirmation that you can send out to your supplier. It's labeled as PO confirmation, and you can email that out or fax it to your supplier just to prompt them to let you know what's going on with an order. It has an outstanding column to indicate to the supplier that you have not received those items yet. You can reprint receiving reports. So you can view, reprint a receiving report. There are search tools here to allow you to find an individual receiving, and then you can reprint that receiving, or you can print out all receiving reports for the PO that you found. There are lots of powerful search tools to find a PO by, say, the supplier's invoice or bill of lading number, or by the supplier's name or a date range. You can use all of those tools to locate a receiving. And then the last item is a very powerful and fun to use, frankly, item status report. This report shows you every single open item that is on a PO. The report will print out every single PO if you indicate that you want to see them all, and then it will indicate what has been ordered and what has been received and what the balance is, and then there's a great status column here, this column S. And there's a key for that status column at the end of the report, and it will tell you how to read that. There are 3 statuses: whether or not the item is open, meaning that nothing has been received against that PO and that item specifically is open; whether the item has been partially received, you received some of the item but you still have a balance due; or whether the item is back-ordered. Back-ordered meaning that there's been nothing received against this particular item, but there are other items on the PO that you've received at least one of. So then that means that that particular item is back-ordered. Very powerful report, strongly encouraging all people involved in purchasing to use this report. It's a quick way to go down and review your POs and see what's going on.